Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. From this session, we are going to start a new series where we will talk about Angular Route Data Resolver. Okay, prior to this session, we talked about route guards, routing examples, and different things related to Angular routing. But from this session, we are going to start a new series where we will talk about the Route Data Resolver or Route Resolver. Okay, so mainly in this session we will talk theoretical things regarding the route data resolver, like what is route data resolver, why do we need it, how it works, what are the key benefits and common use cases. But later in the upcoming session we will see all these things practically with examples. Okay, so you can say that by the end of today's session you will be able to understand what is route data resolver, and you will be able to understand all the questions that comes in the interview with their answers. But before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow them sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic and to implement the same. And for the sequential content, you can refer the Sharmit digital course book, which is freely available in the description box, with more than 3000 plus free of cost learning resources available in both Hindi and English language. Okay, alright, so let's get started. Here you can see, firstly I have put my primary heading that shows Angular 19 course by Sharmit, and after that I have put some pointers which will help us to understand all the key concept related to Angular data route data resolver. Okay, and also it will help us to prepare well for the interviews. So first question comes as, what is route resolver? Okay, so let's say if someone asks you what is route resolver, so you can simply explain what is route resolver in 3 pointers. The first point is, a route resolver is a feature in Angular that fetches the data before a route is loaded. Okay, so this is very important term. It fetches the data before the route is loaded. Okay, fine. Now this thing is clear. Now second point is, it helps ensure that when a component is displayed, its data is already available. Okay, so it helps us to ensure that yes, when a component is displayed, its data is already available. We are not supposed to wait for the data. Okay, now you can think of it as a preparing data before showing up the page. So I think these 3 pointers are good enough to conclude what is route resolver. A route resolver is a feature of Angular that fetches the data before a route is actually loaded. It ensures, it helps and ensure that when a component is displayed, its data is already available. Okay, so you can think of it as a preparing of data before showing up the page. Now the next question comes, why do we need resolver? Why do we need resolver? So normally when we fetches the data inside a component using the ng on init, it causes component to load first and then data appears after a short delay, and that is sometimes considered as an issue because it takes a little bit of time while loading the data. But with a resolver, Angular waits for the data to be ready before loading the route. So in short, you can say if you are using the resolver, then there is no need to wait for the data. Like it will provide you, it fetches all the data before the actual loading of the route. Clear? So you can say that it removes the loading and flickering and improves the user experience. So this is also true because it removes like there is no loading time, right? If the data is already there, and it will simply remove the flickering thing and also improve the user experience, because if users are not supposed to be wait for anything, right? So it will improve the user experience. Now the next thing is, when does Angular resolver run? So this is very important because we should know first thing, like when actually it is running. So it runs before the route is activated. So before the route activated, it runs. Okay. Angular will pause the navigation until the resolver finishes. So again, this is important line, that Angular will pause the navigation until the resolver finishes. Okay. Once the data is ready, the route is activated and the component receives the data. So again, this is very important line, that once the data is ready, the route is activated and the component receives data. So these are the 3 pointers that help us to understand when does a resolver run. Now we will talk about the key benefits. So the key benefits, there are multiple benefits, but here I have just logged in 4 points. The first is there is no more loading screens, right? Now there is no more loading screens because data is already loaded. Second thing is data is ready as soon as the page opens. So this is also true because resolver will provide the data timely manner, and that is due to which data is ready as soon as the page opens. Third point is, now it is cleaner and professional user experience, more professional user experience. Okay, because there is no need to wait for user, and it is now cleaner also. The fourth point is great for the API driven pages or SEO friendly pages. Yes, because if it loads the data before loading the route itself, then in that way it helps us to improve the SEO also. Okay, it is good for the SEO also. That is why we are saying that it is great for API driven pages and SEO friendly pages. Why API? Because with this you can help you can make use of API as well. Okay. Alright, so now we will talk about the workflow, like how actually it works, because to understand the concept properly we should know the workflow also. So first thing is, when a user click on a route, Angular checks if a resolver is attached to that route or not. Okay, so when you click on the route, it will check if a resolver is attached to it or not. Then third thing is, resolver runs and fetches the data. If it is attached, then it runs and fetches the required data. Once done, route activates. After fetching the data completely, it activates the route. So this is important point. Okay, remember it, because sometime in interviews it will be asked. So you should know that yes, it runs and it fetches the data, and once completed, then it activates the route. So in interview they might ask, like, when the route is executed, if resolver is attached. So you have to simply answer that firstly Angular checks if resolver is attached. If it is, then resolver runs the data and runs and fetches the data. Once done, route activates. Okay, and then finally component receives the data instantly. So these are the all pointers that answer how does it work and what is the workflow of the route resolver. Clear? Now we will talk about the last pointers that are related to common use cases. So it is useful for preloading the user detail before showing the profile page. So suppose you are preparing one profile page, so before it preloads the data user details before showing the profile page. Second point, preloading product info before showing product details page. Okay, so suppose you are preparing any e-commerce website, so in that case it will preload the product info before showing the product details page. Third point is loading configuration or settings before the app started. Yes, so if you are starting any app, so in that case it will help us to load and configure load the configuration and settings before the app startup. Okay, the fourth point is preparing dashboard data before showing the main view. Okay, so yeah, these are the all things which I would like to share with you all in this session. and here we just discuss what is route resolver, why do we need route resolver, when does it runs, and what are the key benefits, how it works, flows, and common uses. So I hope this session is clear to all of you. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.